Well, greetings, people of the internet. My printer just came on. Do-do-do-do. Hear it? That's odd, isn't it? Oh well. The video today is not about printers at all. It's actually about a new hypervisor. Well, new old hypervisor. And we're going to get into it right after the intro. So buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to be a fun ride today. So most of my lab work is done with Hyper-V as my hypervisor. But today we're going to switch things up. As you know, we just upgraded that Dell R710 and put two new Xeon X5675 CPUs in there, and I want to put them to work. So I thought we'd make another Windows lab or another lab to play with. So then it came down to what hypervisor do I want to choose? Well, I could have gone with Proxmox, I could have gone with VMware, and as you know, I'm off VMware for now. I'm using the workstation, but I'm not really using ESXi or VMware vCenter or anything like that because it's just so cost prohibitive. So I've gone back to my old favorite hypervisor, the other one I love alongside of Hyper-V, and that is XCP-NG, or as it's more commonly called, Citrix Zen Server, or I should say Zen Server without the Citrix in front of it. Now the Zen Project hypervisor is a type 1 hypervisor, so it works at the hardware level. So let's be clear on that, because you need to compare apples to apples when we're talking about a hypervisor. The project was born in 2003 at Cambridge University, and it is actually the first open source hypervisor ever invented. I did not know that. In 2007, Citrix acquired Zen Source and created its own version called Zen Server. And then they added Zen Core, and they added an API, XAPI, I think. And in addition to that, the Zen project set up a advisory board with some of the biggest tech companies at the time, including Citrix, IBM, HP, Red Hat, and Sun Microsystems. Just looking at my notes here. Now, it took some time, and consequently, when we're talking about Citrix, I got my start in virtualization using Zen Server. Citrix back in the day made a free version, and they still did up until, when was it, 2017. They started doing some they started restricting their free version of Zen Server. In fact, you can still download it and get it today. But back then it was free. All the add-ons were free for like 30 or 40 days, and it was how I first got my feet wet with hypervisors. And I've always liked the Zen interface. It's very Zen-like, at least to me. It's very calming. It's very easy to understand where things are in the interface. Now, you got Zen Server, and then you can maintain it through the command line or through a GUI. These series of videos are going to be talking about how to get Zen Server up and running and set up a lab with it. So what I'm going to do is, I have my Windows Lab series of videos, so everything I do in there, as far as creating a Windows domain, I'm going to create it on Zen Server XCP-NG as well. Just to try to create two different types of labs to give you an idea of how they work with each underlying base hypervisor. It'll give you a better idea of what you're in for, if so to speak. Now, the goal with this video today is going to be show you how to install XCP-NG. It's a fairly simple install, but I'm going to show you how to install it on two servers because we're going to be setting it up for a lab environment. So I like to always have more than one server. So I can show you some of the advanced features when you have multiple servers involved. So in today's video, like I said, we'll cover the basic install and configuration of XCP-NG, and then we'll build on episodes about our XCP-NG lab from that point on. We'll show you how to set up things like Zen Orchestra, and how to create virtual machines, and how to set your BIOS type, whether it's BIOS or UEFI or Secure Boot, or how to enable TPM services. Can you run Windows 11 under XCP-NG. Can you run Windows 10? Well, all these questions will be answered, but first, let's get the software installed. So we've got our Dell ready to go, our R710. I've logged into the thingy, to the iDRAC controller. I've got some storage mapped, some virtual storage to the XCP-NG CD-ROM drive. And I'm going to go ahead and power on the system. Click on OK. And the Dell will power up. Now, it takes a few minutes to boot. Now, this unit is the one we just updated the processors in. So it has a couple of X5675 Xeon CPUs, and this unit has 96 gig of RAM. So this will be our primary unit. We also have 6 3.5-inch hard drives in this unit as well, that eventually we will be passing through to a Windows virtual machine, or perhaps some other virtual machine. But we're at the BIOS boot manager screen, and I'm going to go down and I'm going to select virtual CD, and if you keep an eye on the box on the left, you'll see it start reading bytes from this virtual CD as it boots from it. We're going to press enter to install or upgrade. Now, I think the last time I installed XCP was version 7 something, so I'm hoping version 8 is going to work. Actually, version 8.2 is going to work with this older Dell equipment. I may have some issues with the networking cards. I don't know. We'll see. All right, well, that's a good sign. It's prompting us for the key map we'd like to use, so I'm just going to accept the US. And we're going to install or upgrade XCP. I don't think we're going to need a device driver, at least I hope not, so I'm going to click on OK. Then it should go out and look for an existing install. Hopefully it'll go out and find all the hard drives in here. And we'll accept the EULA. Well, that's a good sign. It is seeing all my hard drives on my controller. So the one I'm looking for is the Samsung. Let's see, though, if it counts all the others. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's seeing all 6 drives. I'm going to install this onto the SSD drive in here, the Samsung. So I'm going to go over, select that, and then hit OK. And let's see, which disk would I like to use for virtual machine storage? Again, I'm just going to select the Samsung. And let's see, so if we use LVM block-based, it'll be faster, but it'll only be thick provisioning. If we use EXT file-based, may be slower, but allows us to do thin provisioning. I'm just going to accept the defaults here. I'm not going to change anything. Click OK. We're going to install from local media, so I'll select OK here. I'm going to skip the verification of the CD. And then I'm going to enter a super secret password that I want to use. There we go. We're going to use ETH0. So it's seeing all my network cards. I've got 4 gigabit adapters and then a Mellanox 10 gig. We're just going to use ETH0 for now, just to make our life easy. We're going to do a static configuration, and I'm going to give it an IP address of 5.7. And as you can see, there goes the keyboard being wacky. Same way with our gateway. Make sure we enter that. We're not going to use a VLAN. I'm going to tell it OK here. And we're going to point to our internal DNS server and tell it OK. We can always come back and change the name if we want to. We're in America, and we'll just choose Chicago as our closest because that's the correct time zone. Click OK. We're going to use NTP, and I'm just going to use pool.ntp.org. Tell it OK. And then we're going to hit the install button. And we'll let it run. And hopefully we'll have some success. So now we're being prompted to install any supplemental packs, and No, there shouldn't be any. So we'll let this installation complete. Now don't think it's stuck here and it's not moving. It does take some time to get past this point. So just FYI, be patient. It will proceed past this point. All right, so after about a 2-minute wait, it says we're safe to reboot. It says remove any local media, which we've already done. Go ahead and hit enter here, and we're going to let the server reboot. All right, so there we are. It appears it was successful. It's got an IP address. It's got the gateway. So I've installed XCP-NG Center. That's what we're going to use to connect to this unit. Oh, sure, we'll let it check the internet periodically. So I believe I just click up here on Add New Server, and we're going to add the IP address 192.168.5.7, and then we enter our username and password. Click on Add. Let's see, so it can remember login credentials for your managed servers and use them automatically when you start a session. So I'm going to tell it OK. And when set, the master password protects all your server login credentials. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and enter a master password. Probably not a bad idea, huh? Click OK and OK. And there we go. It appears that our server is up and running. That is a good thing. So let's go look around here. Memory. Yep, I've got it's using about 7 gig of memory right now just for the control domain. There's our storage. There's our network adapters. This one is our 10 gig Mellanox. There's all of our NICs. As you can see, there's our 10 gig Mellanox. If I had a GPU in here, there is none. They're USB. I have a console. See, I can look at the performance. Go back to general, go to properties here. Yeah, it all looks good. Let's see, where does it tell me? Well, there's the XCP-NG Center. Here we go. So 0 of 24 CPUs. Now, it doesn't tell me anywhere on here. Let's go to, there we go, CPUs right here. So it sees those Intel Xeon 5675 CPUs at 3.7 gigahertz. It sees all my memory. Yeah. It looks like we have some success, folks. Well, that was pretty trivial. That was pretty easy. I think you would agree. So here we go again. We know the routine. Select the US keyboard. Click OK here. Now in this unit we have, I believe, 8 hard drives. So it'll be interesting to see if it sees them all. You know, with the other Dell, I got really, well, I didn't get lucky. I just, I got to tell you, XCP feels like a really comfortable, warm sweater on a cold winter's day. That's just, I've always had that feeling about Zen Server. Like I said, and there are my hard drives. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. And there's my SSD, which is what we're going to install on. So we'll click OK. And we're going to go all the way down and make sure that's selected. And then we're just going to click through this on OK. We're going to install from local media. We're going to skip the verification of the media. We're going to enter a super secret password yet again. And we're going to do ETH0. And we should see, let's see, the last one. Let's see here. Well, they're all, okay, this is the unit where I have a dual Mellanox 10 gig card in there, and you can tell by the MAC address, but we're going to select ETH0. Now this one, we're going to do another static configuration. And on this one, we're going to do 5.9. Same gateway. We're not going to use a VLAN. And then we're going to do XCP-Del 710-HP for high powered. Right? I think that's good enough. Again, if I screwed that up, we can come back later and fix that. Click on OK. We're in America. And our closest, just choose Chicago here. Click OK. NTP, and we'll do pool.ntp.org. That way it'll grab time from the pool of servers and install. There we go. That didn't take too terrible long. We're not going to install any supplemental packs on this one either. And now we know from experience from last time, this completing the installation takes a couple of minutes. I'm not going to make you wait with me. We'll come back when it changes. All right, so we're back here at XCP-NG Center. I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to add a new server. And I'm wondering if I shouldn't create a pool. Well, we'll deal with that later. So I'm just going to enter the IP address of 192.168.5.9. And let's enter our super secret password here. Click on Add. And there we go. There's our Dell XCP Dell 710HP. Let's see what CPUs. This one has slightly less RAM, only 32 gig. And this unit has X5670 CPUs. And there we go. Let's see if it's seeing all of our network cards. There's our two Mellanox network cards that it's working just fine. Let's see here. No GPU. There's our performance indicators, and there we go. There is our XCP-NG center view. So yeah, success. That was extremely easy. Well, there you go. The install complete. Nothing to it. In fact, the hardest part was waiting for the damn servers to boot up, get through the BIOS screen and start booting, so I could actually do the install. But I get a lot of heat. People are on me like, "Oh, Joe, you need to really give Proxmox a chance." I have run Proxmox before. If you go back and do a little search, it's a little magnifying glass on my channel. Go back and type in Proxmox. You'll see I've done videos on Proxmox. If you go in there and type XCP-NG, you'll see I've also done videos on XCP-NG from a few years ago. So why have I come back to XCP-NG? Because I really like it. I really believe in it, and I wanted to see how much it's been improved since I used it a few years ago. And I got to tell you, I do a lot of these videos ahead of time, and then I erase my work and go back and re-record them just so I can show you step by step how to do that. So I've already done a lot of the stuff that I normally do on Hyper-V on XCP, and the learning curve was not that great. There's quite a few great articles out there on how to configure XCP-NG and how to install all the stuff I'm about to show you. So, and basically that's what I did to learn it. Again, nothing wrong with Proxmox. Been there, done that. And just for the record, Proxmox would not install the current version on either one of these Dell R710s. I got some errors, and that's probably down to the fact that these servers are 12 to 13 years old, and it could be the kernel that Linux is that Proxmox is using. I believe it's Debian. I don't know what version of Debian Proxmox is using, but it could be there aren't some drivers that are needed in there for this server. But I didn't want to spend any time to research that. So anyway, we hope you found the video entertaining and informative. As always, please give us a thumbs up down below if you liked the video. Leave your comments in the comments section. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and click the little notification bell to be notified of new videos whenever they come out. Donate if you're so inclined. PayPal, Patreon, and the good old YouTube join button are all ways to contribute to Unky Joe's Playhouse. And don't forget, we'll see all of you on the other side.